meeting to order. It's 6 o'clock. We stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Right, we will start the meeting with a ceremonial oath of office. So our two new board members, Mike Swoboda and Shannon Larson, are here with you. Included in your packets are the oaths. So we'll start with Shannon first. So Shannon, repeat after me, even though we already officially did this. It was on your... Got it? Looks like this one. Yep, you got it. I, Shannon Larson, have been elected to the office of the Algoma School Board member.
I, Shannon Larson, having been elected to the office of the Algoma School Board,
But have not yet entered upon the duties thereof, swear.
but have,
Go ahead.
but have not yet entered upon the duties thereof, swear
That I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin.
that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
And will faithfully discharge the duties of said office to the best of my ability.
and will faithfully discharge the duties of said office to the best of my abilities.
Congratulations. All right, Mike. I, Michael Swoboda, have been elected to the office of the Algoma School Board,
I, Michael Swoboda, have been elected to the office of Algoma School Board,
but have not yet entered upon the duties thereof.
but have not yet entered upon the duties thereof.
Swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
Swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
and will faithfully discharge the duties of said office to the best of my ability.
and will faithfully discharge the duties of said office to the best of my ability.
Congratulations. All right, can I get a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
So moved. Second.
Motion made by Lonnie, seconded by Jeremy. All in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Hearing none, agenda will move forward. All right, we will elect the office of president next. So I'm looking for nominations for the school board president.
I'd like to nominate Amy Johnson.
Chrissy nominates Amy Johnson. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Lonnie. I have to ask nominations 3 times, so I'll ask nominations once again for school board president. I will ask nominations for a 3rd time. Any nominations for school board president? All right, hearing none, I need a motion to close the nominations.
Second.
Seconded by Chris. All those in favor of electing Amy as president, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None, motion carried. We'll turn the meeting over to Amy. Congratulations.
Thank you. All right, now we will take nominations for vice president, but before that, since we have new members, I want to read what the vice president does. This is in our board policy book. It is 171.2. The vice president of the board shall act as the chairperson of the board meeting by presiding at meetings of the board when the president is not able to attend, performing other duties appropriate to the office of vice president as the board determines, and in case of a vacancy in the office of president, succeeding to the office of president for the balance of the unexpired term. All right. Are there any nominations for vice president?
Lonnie Finnendale.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Chris Bennis moved, Lonnie Finnendale. Chrissy seconded. I'm gonna ask again, I need to ask 3 times. Any other nominations for vice president? nominations for vice president? Hearing none, I need a motion to close the nomination and cast a unanimous ballot. I need a-
So moved. Chrissy?
Second.
Chrissy moved, Jeremy seconded. All right, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, all those opposed? None? Motion carried, congratulations. All right, now we will take the office of clerk. The clerk of the board is responsible for the following duties, which may be completed with the assistance of the appropriate staff. Act as clerk and record the proceedings of all the meetings of the board. Enter the proceedings of the board in the proper record books. Enter into the record book copies of all the clerk reports sent to municipal clerks. Draw and record orders on the treasurer as directed by the board. Be the chief election officer of the district with authority to report the name and post office address within 10 days after the election or appointment of each board officer to the clerk and treasurer of each municipality having territory within the district. Appoint qualified electors of the district to serve on the school board of canvassers for each election in accordance with 7.53A of the Wisconsin Stats, and perform other duties as prescribed by the law or the board. All right, are there any nominations for the position of clerk?
I nominate Chris Benish.
All right, nominated by Chrissy for Chris Bennis,
Second.
seconded by Lonnie. All right, any other nominations for the position of clerk? One more time, any other nominations for the position of clerk? Hearing none, I need someone to motion and second so we can cast a nomination and a unanimous ballot for Chris Bennis for clerk.
So moved.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Mike, get him the first, and Jeremy, your second. It has been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed? Motion carried, congratulations, Chris, being our clerk. The treasurer, now the treasurer, since we are a unified district, oh, never mind, that's secretary, we're not there yet, okay. Position of secretary, treasurer, screwed that up again, all right. The treasurer of the board is responsible for the following duties which may be completed with the assistance of the appropriate staff. Apply for, receive, and sue for all the money appropriated to or collected for the district and disperse the same in accordance with the law. Enter into the account books all money received and dispersed and specify the source of the funds and the person to whom funds were paid and the object of the payment. Immediately upon receipt, deposit funds, district funds in the district's name in a public depository designated by the board in accordance with 120.12 section 7 of Wisconsin Stats. Perform other duties prescribed by statute or the board. I need a nomination for the position of treasurer.
Chrissy.
Chris Bennis nominated Chrissy O'Connell.
Second.
Lottie seconded. Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations for the position of secretary? Treasurer, sorry, I don't have, used to going that order, it's not my bad. All right, hearing none, I need a motion, and asking for nominations for total of 3 times. Hearing none, I need a motion to close nominations and cast a unanimous ballot as well as a second.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Lonnie, seconded by Chris Bennis. To close the nominations and cast our unanimous ballot, all those in favor say aye. All those opposed? No. Motion carried. All right, now we can ask for the position of secretary. I need a motion from someone to nominate someone for the position of secretary. I will nominate Shelley Anderson.
I will second that.
Awesome.
I will third it.
All right. I will ask a second time, are there any nominations for the position of secretary? Are there any other nominations for the position of secretary? Hearing none, I need a motion to close the nominations and cast a unanimous ballot, as well as a second.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Jeremy, seconded by Chris Pennis. 2, close the nominations and cast a unanimous ballot for Shelley Anderson for position of secretary. All those in favor? All those opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Committee appointments. For board correspondent, I'm going to continue in that position, so that Amy Johnson is going to be the board correspondent. The CISA Board Control Representative, Chrissy O'Connell, would you be willing to serve in that position?
Yes.
Thank you. Delegate for the WASB Convention, I will be the delegate for that position. And the alternate delegate for the WASB Convention, Jeremy, are you willing to serve in that position?
Yes.
Yes, wonderful. Okay, starting with the board committees. The first name I read is going to be the chairperson, if I do not delineate that afterwards. For our committee of the Buildings, Grounds, and Transportation, Lonnie Finnendale will be chair. Chris Bennis and Mike Swoboda will also be on that committee. For finance, Amy Johnson will be chair, Chrissy O'Connell, and Jeremy Patchak. I'm gonna be on it, I said it wrong, I'm sorry. Policy and practice, Chrissy O'Connell will be chair, Amy Johnson, Shannon Larson. Public Relations Marketing, Chris Benish will be chair, Lonnie Finnendale, and Shannon Larson will be on that committee. Charter School, Jeremy Patchak will chair, Amy Johnson, Mike Swoboda will be on that committee. And the Ad Hoc City Hall, Jeremy Patchak will chair, Lonnie Finnendale, and Chrissy O'Connell will be on that. Okay, I need a motion to retain the following depository for school funds: Associated Bank, Nicolay Bank, Bank of Luxembourg, American Deposit Management Company, and the Local Government Investment Pool.
Second.
Moved by Lonnie, seconded by Chris Ennis. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. Okay, I need a motion to approve running Lewis and Lacey as the WASB attorneys for legal counsel to the Algoma School District for school matters.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Jeremy, seconded by Chrissy. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. All right. Next up is we set the time and dates for our regular board meetings. Currently, we have them scheduled at 6:00 PM. Does that still work, or do we want to move it up to 5? Do we want to go to 5:30? What works for everybody?
6 works. 6 is good.
6 is good? All right. We'll keep our regular time at 6 PM. All right. You can take a look at the dates for the upcoming. We typically stick with the 4th Monday of the month. Everyone could check their calendars. I know last year we did change the December for the concert. So I don't know if we want to wait for that.
May is Memorial Day.
May 19th, we're actually moving it forward so it doesn't conflict. Good catch. And I do have a conflict with the November 24th, if we could move that to the week prior, which would make it November 17th.
I have no issues.
Sorry, that was November?
Correct. Make it November 17th. Do we need a motion on that, Jesse? Okay. So then our dates for the board meetings for 2025 and 2026. May 19th, 2025, June 23rd, July 28th, August 25th, September 22nd, October 27th, November 17th, December 22nd, January 26th, February 23rd, March 23rd, and April 27th. Okay. So, we've done that, board appointments, moving on. Okay, board correspondent report, that is me again, there's a lot, but I'll go quickly. All right, there's a new bill circulating that would allow retired employees to return to work without foregoing their WRS annuity. This, I think, will help in schools that need subs. You know, it's always hard once you retire, you have to wait X amount of days before you can go back, and you can't make X amount of money, or you alters your pension, so this bill would make it easier. The State Budget Committee announces public hearings. The Joint Committee on Finance has announced public hearings for the governor's 2025-27 state budget to be held across the state in April. They had 2 hearings, April 2nd and April 4th in Kaukauna and West Allis. The second round of hearings, one is being held tonight in Hayward and one tomorrow night in Wausau. The governor vetoed a bill to undo the recent changes to state assessment and report card cut scores. So he vetoed AB 1, Senate Bill 18, to change the cut scores and restrict the ability of DPI to change the cut scores. April 1st election results, we have 2 new school board members, Shannon Larson and Michael Swoboda, join us here on the school board. Judge Susan Crawford defeated Brad Schimmel and will be the next Wisconsin Supreme Court Justice. State Superintendent of Public Instruction Jill Underly defeated Brittany Kinzer. And locally, 81 school districts went to referendum with 89 total questions. Of those, 52 passed and 37 failed, translating to an overall passage rate of 58.4%. A hearing is scheduled for a bill to regulate what flags can be flown outside government buildings, including schools. The bill, AB 58, would generally prohibit the flying of any flag other than the U.S. or Wisconsin flag, with some exceptions for flags honoring veterans, tribes, local governments, universities, and in some cases, other states and countries. The Assembly is going to hear a bill regarding higher education institutions to provide certain academic and career planning data. The bill would require higher education institutions to include, among other data points, total average costs and debt burden for pupils compared with their average earnings post-graduation as part of the academic and career planning services provided to high school juniors and seniors, which I think will come in handy for our kids as they're thinking about going on to college. The Wisconsin Supreme Court upheld the 400-year, $325 pupil revenue limit increase veto. And this is important because the GOP lawmakers who said they wanted to see a decision before proceeding with the state budget. So hopefully now that they've got a decision, they'll get back to work on getting that budget done. Title VI certification, the school district is compliant with the requirements of the U.S. Department of Education certification as related to Title VI. And President Trump recently issued an executive orders promoting artificial intelligence initiatives in K-12 schools and calling for changes to federal school discipline guidance. So those are going to committee. They'll have more information shortly. And with that, we can move on to the board CISA report. Chrissy?
So big news out of CISA. If you had a school email address, you probably have already seen it. Aaron is our new CISA, I'm blanking on what they're called, executive director. He has been with CISA 7 for 7 years, very much in tune with the happenings of that. So he's training with Colleen right now. Colleen's last day will be June 30th, and if you haven't met Aaron already, you probably will very soon. They talked about their superintendent meeting, so Jesse, this is my shout to you. If you have other superintendents in the area that do not go, please bring them along. There's always 7 or 8 of the 38 that are hit or miss, and it'd be nice to get everyone there. The last meeting, they had 4 legislative reps show up, and then I guess they had a really great conversation about voucher schools. And the biggest requests from the supers was accountability. If there's public schools getting voucher money, or private schools getting voucher money, hold them accountable to the same test standards and things that we are accountable for. And then the secondary issue was that the money needs to follow the kids. So if someone switches schools, after that first Friday count, send that money with. So really good discussion from that last meeting. Algoma is not up for re-election on the CISA 7 Board of Control. That will be happening in the middle of May. Manitowoc, Luxembourg, Casco, and Brillion seats are up. And then the Youth Apprentice program, just having continued success. They had a job fair for a bunch of youth apprentice positions, and the line to get in of high school students was around the block. Like, it was a huge success before it even opened. So that's all I have, and Shelley, it's in your email.
Wonderful, thank you. Okay, now the best time of the night, our student representative report, Ms. Sophia Ramirez.
So two of our student athletes are gonna be having a signing ceremony on Wednesday. So what that means is I don't know what sports they're committing to, but they're committing to colleges for like a certain sport. So it'll count for the academics and their sports. DI is having a car wash at Napa on Sunday. SUVs and vans are $15 and cars are $10, and it's 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So I think that should be fun. I don't know. Maybe I'll go. I don't have a car, but
How's that gonna work?
I can take my mom's. I don't know. I'll figure something out. And then the 10th of May, they're doing a bake and cake sale. That's 10 to 1 p.m. At the Algoma Street Department on Jefferson Street. Yeah. That's during the Knights of Columbus recycling event, so they'll be like collecting recyclables, I think. So that's happening at the same time. The 5th to 8th graders are having their spring concert at May 12th at the elementary school at 6. And then the Wednesday, same week, May 14th at 6:30, the high school band and choirs will be having theirs there as well. Track, Tuesday they have a meet at O'Connell tomorrow, and then Thursday they play at O'Connell or they run at O'Connell Falls. Softball, they're playing here against Kiwani. When I left, it was 4-1.
It's 8 to 2 now.
Oh, is it? Oh.
So that's not gonna work.
They're doing
No,
really-
I just got a text.
They're doing really good. Oh, it's Algoma winning?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they play tomorrow at Sturgeon Bay. And then baseball plays tomorrow at Sturgeon Bay to the JV1 and varsity teams. And then both the teams, JV and varsity, play at home on Friday against Kiwani. That should be a pretty good game, but the JV baseball, I don't know, we'll see how they do. But, I don't know, it should be good though.
How was prom?
Oh, it was really fun. I think everyone who decorated did like such a good job. Yeah, and it was just like overall really fun. My leg kind of hurt after, but that's okay.
Awesome.
Were there a lot of people at prom?
I think so, yeah. I think there was a good turnout.
All right, public participation. Has anyone sent?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Board president announcements, other than welcoming Shannon and Mike, thank you for joining our board. It'll be a good year. Administrative reports.
All right, good evening, everyone. 3 key takeaways for tonight. We'll do an update on district finances from Amber. I want to give everyone an update on some construction referendum items. And then lastly would be an update on our parent group for the football field renovations. So I will turn it over to Amber to start.
So nothing real exciting happening in March. We actually didn't have a whole lot flowing in or out. We did get our state aids in Fund 10 and Fund 27, as well as Fund 50 food service aids. So those food service aids are actually federal dollars. That all came in the month of March. Like I said, no big concerns, no big expenditures in the month of March. So those are our operating funds. And then the other funds, Fund 39, all of our debt payments have been made for the year, so those are at 100%. We do not have any additional expenditures planned for the rest of the year for non-referendum capital. We spent it all already earlier in the year. There is a little bit of wiggle room in there if something pops up between now and the end of the year, but I don't anticipate it. And Fund 49 has been slow going. If you can go on to the next slide, Jesse. So our beginning balance at the beginning of March was just a little over $9 million, and we are still a little over $9 million for the end. The only thing we spent for the month of March was the first Raptor invoice was paid, so that was the initial investment to get the system up and running. There will be one more invoice to add a couple additional stations for it. So we learned as we got it up and running that it's causing some problems with the secretaries having to jump back and forth between desks, so we're gonna get a couple stations. So next month, we do anticipate the slide's going to look very different. So things are starting to roll.
Yeah.
And then because it is the end of the quarter, here are your fund balance activity. So you'll see, I'm not sure why Excel started doing this. It used to leave that line off when there was empty cells and now it drops it to zero. But we are sitting really good where we should be. We do need to carry a little bit higher balance in Fund 10 to cover the Fund 27 negative balances until those monies come in at the end of the year. And then Fund 80 sometimes has a little bit lower balance before the tax revenues start rolling in. So overall, we're looking really good for Fund 10. It's a good, healthy fund balance. Fund 27, you can see that's a standard slide down until we get those reimbursements rolling in. So I did just file a pretty hefty grant reimbursement this month in April, so that'll start to come back up a little bit. And then Fund 50, we did have to spend that down, so we are looking at the, we're in the third blue line? Oh, it's not on there.
Didn't transfer over.
Huh, okay, well.
We got it in front of
Yeah,
us.
we got it on these.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you look at your sheets in front of you, it is on there. The dark blue line is where we're at for this year. It's a little bit lower than last year, which is what we wanted. DPI had told us our fund balance was too high, we had to spend it down, so we're down. So it is still looking good. And then the last fund that we really watch is Fund 80, and like I said, you can kind of see towards November, December, the fund balance kind of drops. That's when the tax revenues start to come in, so. And then once the tax revenues come in, it balances back up again. We are working on building that fund balance a little bit more, so hopefully it won't go into the negative, and we are getting close. It's not very far, so everything looks good in that respect.
All right, some referendum construction updates. You may have seen the article in the Kiwanee Star this weekend. Kind of gave the public an update, but some more specifics on just specific timelines that we're getting. So this is directly from Bayland I got today. At the elementary school, our restroom plumbing work is gonna start June 2nd. Roof replacement also on June 2nd. The playground resurfacing is either gonna be the week where we get out of school on the 2nd or the following week on the 9th, depending on when their construction guys are able to finish up a previous project that they're working on. The PAC lighting, sound, and new ceiling tiles. Scaffolding is gonna go up right away on June 2nd. Our interior door hardware, so new hard handles and locks, we're waiting from the factory to ship right now. So we're anticipating probably around July for that, as well as the exterior window replacements. So, at the middle school and high school, there's a lot more demolition that needs to take place. You can see we need to do that in the band and choir room, our tech ed space, our AVA, the front entrance of the middle school and high school, the little theater, and all of the student restrooms. So that is gonna start right away on June 2nd, once the students are out. Track resurfacing and parking lot replacement is slated to start early June. They'll do the track first, because they need couple weeks for layers to kind of cure before they can put the next layer on. So they're gonna start with the track and then move their way into the parking lots. Again, interior door hardware and the windows, happening in July.
Who's moving all of the stuff out of the band, choir, tech ed, AVA rooms?
Most of that is being done through our own guys,
Okay,
with the exception of some of the cabinetry. The Bayland will be doing that itself because of how large it is, and we wanna make sure it stays, as one piece, because we're gonna reuse that,
that's,
so.
okay, good.
Jesse, during the parking lot restructure or resurface, are they gonna be closing down the wellness center, or are they still gonna have access to it?
We'll keep the wellness center open, we just may have to shift the entrances at times, so they may have to come in the cafeteria doors at certain points, so. But we'll put signs up and notify all the wellness center members and stuff, so.
How does the elementary school impact, like the playground and stuff, childcare, summer school, there are
Yep.
areas of the school they can't use with restrooms.
Correct, yep, so restrooms are gonna be kind of a day by day. We'll put signs on the doors when they're being closed, but they're well aware that we have summer school during the month of June, so they're willing to work around that. We also are looking at shanty days in August. I did meet with the shanty days committee, last week or the week before, because the playground or the exterior of the elementary school would impact their vendors. So we're gonna come up with a plan where the vendors can go around the perimeter of the school grounds still.
Will all those construction folks be sent through Raptor then, cause they're gonna be in school? when our
Yes,
kids are there?
that's our hope. Every day, any construction workers will have to check in with the Raptor system. They'll print them off a ID sticker, date specific, they have to wear that on their, hard hat, so.
Thank you.
Yes. I did bring some samples as well. They're over there on the table. You can take a look at those at the end of the meeting. I got a sample of the flooring, the LVT that's gonna be going in, a sample of the window frames, the color. We just met tonight with Balin to finalize the color of the metal roof for the elementary school, as well as the flashing that's going to go around the top of the elementary school roof as well. Trying to match what existing currently is there as best we can. We picked out tile color last Friday, or 2 Fridays ago at H.J. Martin, so that's all done. So it's coming together. It's gonna be a busy, busy summer, so,
But it'll be a wonderful September.
yes.
It'll be like coming back to a new
It'll
building.
be done by September, right?
I hope it, windows will not.
Yeah.
Windows is gonna take a little longer, just because of the manufacturer, that's gonna go into the school year, so we'll have to work around some of those schedules and move some teachers' classrooms around for a day or so here and there, but. The last thing I just wanna touch on is the relocating of the football games to the high school. So moving it from Perry Field up to the high school. This is something the board has discussed, a little bit in the last, I would say, year. So with moving the games up from Perry Field up to the high school, it will allow us to do football, soccer, and track and field all in one location out there. We can collect revenues for all of those by charging ticket prices and for entrance for spectators. We formed a parent advisory group that met for the first time on April 1st. The group was a pretty small group. They were tasked to go out and find some more members, parents or community members that are interested in this work. And so right now, our group will meet again in the coming probably weeks here to look at how we're gonna do some of our fundraising for this work. And then we will also be working at getting some quotes for individual items, so goalposts, lighting, what a concession stand would look like to build. So those types of items will all be priced out. And then we'll do a phased-in approach. So we're thinking it's gonna be anywhere from a 1 to 3 year project that's gonna be out there and it's kind of ongoing, so.
If someone's interested in joining this, do they just contact you?
That would be great. They could contact me, shoot me an email or give me a phone call would be great, so.
Is this group just parents? Is it teachers?
Right now, it's just
staff?
parents. I don't have any other community members, but they're welcome to participate.
Any staff, coaches?
Coaches are part of it. Mr. Robertson's been part of it. Whitney, our athletic director, is part of it as well, so. And a big thank you to all of those people, because they're brought a lot of the information and the history to this project that's been discussed over the last couple of years. And that's at the forefront, making sure that we're aware of what's being discussed.
Gotcha. I didn't know if the fundraising efforts were just the parent group and the rest of it was you guys, or how this was all combined, or?
It's gonna be a joint effort, collective, yeah. So.
I know you just had one meeting, but has there been any thought about having, like, shop students build concession building?
It's definitely something we can look at. Our shop classes are pretty small right now for doing a project like that, but I think we can definitely have that conversation with Mr. Matthews and see what he could offer.
I mean, if you got some community members involved to come out, help
Mhm.
out.
Absolutely.
Jesse, when we say that soccer, football, and track is gonna be, that just means up at the high school here, not on the same field.
At the same field, on the
So
same field.
soccer, football will be on the same field?
Correct, yep.
So I would assume then with the resurfacing of the track, that's gonna have to be,
Correct, so that was, what kind of drove, the work that we're doing with the construction is driving some of this work right now, because we don't want to ruin the project or the resurfacing of the track. And so that's where these conversations are vital to have now. We're making sure that none of this work is part of the referendum, because it was not part of the scope in the question when we went out and asked taxpayers for supporting the referendum, so this will all be done through fundraising dollars.
Do you have a rough estimate, or not even there?
Not even close, I couldn't even tell you. Lighting's gonna be the most expensive, we know that, so.
So will the setup be similar to what was proposed in the referendum?
In terms.
Where like the football field's in the middle of the track?
Yes,
Okay.
yep. Football field will stay inside the track, soccer will be played inside there as well, so it'll be large enough.
Okay.
A soccer field is larger than a football field, so we have to make sure that's accommodating. Scoreboard, goalposts, kind of an entryway to collect tickets is something we need to look at.
Bleachers, right?
Bleachers, what else, Mr. Robertson?
PA system,
PA,
having
Press
it
box.
right now, yeah, right away, the press box, specifically for your spotting, when you're doing football, you have people that are spotting it down a distance, things like that. Those are some of the immediate needs that come to mind.
yeah, do we have internet access up there?
we will.
Okay.
We will. We will. So, it's exciting work. The feedback I've gotten from the coaches and from players and from family members that are associated with these sports is they really are looking forward to having a field that's going to be safe to play on, and that is all I have.
All right. We will move on to the elementary principal's report. Ms. Survey?
All right. Starting off with a wrap-up on our state assessments. I know Dave has the same thing on his agenda items as well, so I'll talk about the elementary school and you can talk about the high school. At the elementary school, we just have the forward exam for grades 3 through 6, and we have all of our students who have completed that. So we actually, for the first time ever, finished up testing during testing week. We didn't even have to use our makeup testing week, so that was huge, that was a big deal. Went really well. We have a handful of students who, instead of taking the forward, took the alternate assessment called the BLM, so that was completed as well. And I think as far as our participation goes, we only had one student whose parent opted them out of the assessment. So there's a lot of moving parts, a lot of people involved in making that successful, so a huge thank you to Angie Kondersky, Marianne helped with the special ed piece, and then a whole bunch of people at the high school that people mentioned as well. So interestingly, I'm curious to see when the results of the forward exam will be released to us. Usually we don't get those results until July, and we have heard that they will be releasing those sooner. So we'll see if that will happen, but that would be a good thing if they do. And then lastly, the biggest thing we have going on right now is our CKLA curriculum pilot. So right after spring break, we have a group of teachers who opted to participate in piloting the new curriculum that we will be adopting for next school year, that we have adopted for next school year. It was an optional pilot program, so we presented it to teachers, we explained what it was, and basically they would be sampling different parts of units to get a good idea of the reading, the writing, the phonics, just all together what that would look like. We had way more than I anticipated in terms of teachers participating. So we had 13 classroom teachers piloting, which is huge. So I think if we break it down, because we have some of our teachers that teach reading to all of the grade level, and I think maybe 50 students total are not participating in the pilot at this point. So that's huge participation. The feedback so far has been overwhelmingly positive. It's a lot of work. It's kind of dug up a lot of questions, but that was really the goal of doing the pilot, is to do that now, so that we know what we need to provide the teachers with, what we need to focus on, what we really need to get ready going into the school year when we fully launch it with everybody. The teachers who are participating in that also have committed to, there's 4 different virtual collaboration check-in meetings with the CKLA specialists. So they've been getting some implementation coaching as well. Students, feedback from the teachers on how the students are liking the curriculum has also been positive. It's definitely different. At the elementary level, we were very much used to like small group instruction for reading, where you have the whole group for say 10 minutes. You teach a real quick lesson, and then the rest of the instruction is with small groups of students. CKLA is the opposite. It's back to more explicit whole group instruction. So that's been a little bit of a shift, but the teachers have really enjoyed it, and so have the students. Lots of questions, a lot of questions and things we're working through, so a huge thank you to the teachers who are just diving right in. It was kind of a messy launch of the pilot because our materials didn't come, but the teachers wanted to get in right away, so they were printing things off the digital resources, and they just really have made the best out of that situation, and now we're full steam ahead. So that is all that I have for today.
All right, thank you. All right, the middle school, high school principals report, Mr. Robertson.
All right, so as mentioned, we are also finished with all of our fun testing. Do want to point out that the 99% was accurate when I submitted this, but it's dropped now. We're a little bit above 95% on the pre-ACT secure. We had 4 students that did not test for various reasons, but still high enough that we're not going to get flagged. And just to mention some of these, so whenever we do standardized testing, all that testing now is done online. So Jesse does a great job, Troy, Wade Vandervest helps out, getting everything set up. Courtney goes through a ton of stuff. Worked really closely with Katie, our testing coordinator, make sure everything's just even set up to get this thing started and rolling. So big thanks to them, and then also for the rest of the building, because there's adjustments that get made every time you pull a large group of students. Everybody else has to cover or figure out what we're gonna do with the kids that aren't testing, et cetera, et cetera. Really it's a all hands on deck time, and really appreciative of the way the staff go about it. And grateful for the parents that support that and get their kids here to test. So we'll see what comes out as far as the results go. Graduation coming up quickly. Shockingly, seems shocking to me. It's amazing how fast it happens every year. So with that, then Mr. Brinkman's doing some senior exit interviews. We've already announced the valedictorian and salutatorian. They know to be working on their speeches. We've met as a team, being some of the admins, some of the staff, making sure that just little things are set up, like rehearsal dates and times, breakfast for the seniors, getting the walk-in order stuff, I mean, just details like that, just getting everything set up so that it runs smoothly. Susan, Courtney, Jesse, myself, Katie, we all have, I'm probably forgetting some, but we all have those conversations and use a working document year to year to reflect on what went well, what we need to improve. So those are all conversations that are happening, and hopefully when we get to graduation, you won't even notice that happened. It'll just be super smooth. Everyone will get a diploma, and it'll just be an awesome day. That's our plan.
Is the valedictorian and salutatorian, is that public knowledge now, or? It is.
I think it was announced, yeah, and don't ask me right now, because I'll get them mixed up in order, but it's gonna be Chase Rombin and John Kirkman. I think that's the opposite order, though, right? Alex, sorry, John is 3. Yeah, so, and that's who you'll see giving speeches.
Nice.
They were super excited to give a speech.
Chase, maybe, I don't know about that. All right, Pathfinder, Algoma Venture Academy Pack of Pups, Child Care Reports. Ms. Holm.
So we sent 8 kids to Costa Rica last month over spring break. Had a really wonderful trip. The kids were a delight to travel with.
Oh, your pictures look fantastic.
Yeah, we have the best group of kids. They were just very willing to do anything, try any food. We even ordered some like wacky stuff to see if they would try it out. They were eating octopus one night, like sticking the tentacles to their plates, and we were like, oh, okay. It was really great. It was cool because when we got to Costa Rica, we got to do more of like the jungly, rough living for the first half of the trip. So it was not off the grid, but more off the grid than kids are used to. Did a lot of travel on some interesting mountain roads to get to the different activities we did. May have seen our life flash before our eyes a few times. It was a great experience for the kids, and then the second half was definitely more relaxed beach, not jungle area. But we did a lot of crazy things, but had a really great time. The kids learned a lot about Costa Rican history, government, learned how to try and figure out exchange rates with their colognes that they use, which was fun. We made them order some things in Spanish to try and practice their Spanish skills, which was also interesting for them. But all in all, it was a great trip. I would take that group anywhere. What else? Trees for tomorrow, we have 19 kids leaving tomorrow. They're camping until Friday at Trees for Tomorrow North. I think Algoma used to go like years and years and years ago.
I went.
You did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eagle River?
Yes.
That's where ours was.
Yep, so we have 19 kids going for a three-night, 4-day trip up there. They're going to be getting some science credits from it. So they're all pretty pumped about that. Our final project showcase is on May 21st from 4 to 6. Kids have been working really hard and getting things ready for that. And then just an update on the Canvas fundraiser that we did back in March. We did make enough money to fund a complete well in Rwanda, so the kids are really excited about that. Pathfinder, we have 2 kids graduating. Actually, they're both done already, I believe. One was done at semester and one was done recently, which is great. And then they are doing an end of year excursion. They went to a rage room back on Valentine's Day, and they found out that they have like a paint splatter type rage room. They were heavily art focused this semester, so it's a good year for their end of the year excursion for getting all their credits completed.
Did you end up selling all of the rest of your canvas, or what did you guys do?
No, we still have a bunch of them. We're trying to look Denmark to see what they want, but like the library here has offered to bring some in there and sell them. Some of the First Friday art places
Good idea.
were willing to take some in and sell them too.
How did the pickleball tournament go?
Wasn't that great?
Who were the winners?
Is it congratulations and winner?
It's actually, I really enjoy that every year. It's really fun to be a part of and watch. We're gonna do some staff teams next year.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, that was not one.
How's bringing camp going?
There weren't that many people. I wondered if it was the shift in the time, but it was run much better than last year. I think it's gonna build. I really do. It was a lot of fun. So thank you. Do it again. All right. Special Ed Wellness Report. Miss Ott.
Just some staff updates. We did have a professional resign. We have a vacancy for a full-time special ed para right now, so if you know anybody looking. We've been having a sub fill in that vacancy for most of the dates, so that's been helping out. But just my little plug for a job opening. Some other life updates for our special ed team. One of our speech language pathologists, Ashley Brown, had a beautiful baby girl in January. She just returned from her maternity leave. And then she returned on the 11th, and then on the 12th, one of our special ed teachers, Mackenzie Rupifer, had a little baby boy. So she will be out for the remainder of the school year. She has a long-term sub, Janet Reeds, filling in for her. And then we also had a special ed teacher get married on April 12th, so Logan Rankin is now Logan Knapp. So lots of life updates in the special ed world. And then for our wellness committee, we're in the middle of another fun staff step challenge, which is always fun to kind of compete with one another. And we have some different groups based on what your goals are for your steps and what your average is, so we can make it a little bit more of an even playing field. And then for Staff Appreciation Week next week, we have 2 different massage therapists coming in, local therapists, to do some like 5-minute chair massages for the staff. So there'll be a sign up for the 7th and the 8th next week.
We have commitment that these new babies are gonna be Algoma students one day?
Maybe, I don't know, I can't predict the future.
Gotta get that sign,
Yeah.
no contract sign.
All right, moving on to committee reports. Finance committee meeting.
Yeah, Chrissy will update the board. What?
Good spot.
Yes, so we met back in March. A lot of our discussion was about benefits and compensation for the staff. You will see action items, and there was a sheet at your place with the compensation proposals. There was an advisory group that was made up of different teachers and staff to look at the pay scale. Some really neat things that they did was not looking, we can't compare ourselves to a big district like Green Bay, right? We gotta look at a smaller one, and so they did the comp studies and put together a really nice proposal with which the finance committee agreed to, and you'll see based on the steps, depending on your level of education, there's a different salary amount on there. So we will be taking that to vote today. We also recommend a 2.95 increase in salaries, which is also an action item later. And then started to, I think that was it, huh? Fund 10 balances,
Yes.
there was another action. So lots of actions came out of that, but all of them are supported and voted upon by the finance committee, and Barb was there, and myself and Chris. We let Barb adjourn her last meeting ever, because that was her last meeting with us.
All right. Board of Canvassers.
I can do that report. So on April 3rd, our board of canvassers, which was made up of Allison Demise, Priscilla Swoboda, and Chris Schley, who was still acting as clerk at that point, met to review all of the election results. And the tabulations that we came up with matched what was presented to us from the county clerk, so.
All right, another item for discussion, staff appreciation. It is going to be held Wednesday, May 7th. Board members may attend either school if available from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. I know I've signed up, Jeremy, you signed up, Chrissy, you signed up, and Shannon, you signed up. If anyone else can attend, it's a wonderful event. It's not fun to see everybody.
If you could just let me know, and I will put you at what school, so we have even representation at both of results.
All right, now we can move on to our action items. I need a motion to approve the regular board minutes of the March 17th Finance Committee meeting and the minutes of the March 20th, 2025, and the Board of Canvassers meeting minutes of April 3rd, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Chrissy, seconded by Lonnie. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. Presentation and approval of the bills in the amount of $829,705.10. I need a motion to move approval.
So moved.
Moved by Chris Minish, seconded by Mike Swoboda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. I need approval for our destination imagination to travel out of state to attend the global tournament in Kansas City, Missouri from May 21st to May 26th, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Jeremy, seconded by Chrissy. All those in favor
Can I have a
say-
discussion
Oh,
on it?
absolutely.
Will our seniors be back for graduation? How is that working? Because I think one of our secondary teams made it. Do they have to pick between DI and graduation?
They won't be back for practice, because
Okay.
we have one of our ABA seniors that's gonna be there.
It It just says through the 26th and graduation's the 25th, so that's why I questioned it.
Yeah, they have it, I had being back for graduation, I just said I wouldn't be there for rehearsal.
Nicole, she thought they would be back for.
Okay, I'm sorry for the interruption.
No, no problem. Needed to ask for discussion. All right, we have a motion and a second to approve the DI travel out of state. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. I need a motion to approve the Algoma Elementary School Student Handbook for 2025-26 that was included in your packet.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mike, seconded by Chris. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. I need approval of the Algoma Middle High School Student Handbook for 2025-26.
So moved.
Moved by Jeremy, seconded by
Second.
Shannon. Any discussion?
My only point between you two is the extracurriculars don't match up again, so if you guys could just take a look at it. The sports are fine, it's the clubs and organizations that, are different between AVA and middle school, high school. Maybe AVA is not allowed, no, I'm just kidding.
All right, we have a motion by Jeremy and a second by Shannon to approve the middle high school with the corrections Chrissy provided. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. I need approval for the Algoma Venture Academy Student Handbook for 2025-26.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Chris, seconded, Chris Benish moved second. I don't have to do that anymore, we are done with one, Chris, okay.
Person of Christina.
Yes, all right, seconded by Mike. Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. All right, I need to approve the Algoma Elementary Child Care Handbook for 2025-26.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Chrissy, seconded by Chris. Any discussion?
I had a question on admission, and I know we questioned it last year, and that's how I learned this was in Fund 10. Admission says Child Care Center will accept any student enrolled in early childhood Little Stars through 6th grade. Last year it said open to the community, and that's why I questioned it, because then they said, you told me it was Fund 10, and it is open to everyone in the community, so.
Fund 80.
Oh, sorry, Fund 80.
Yep.
So does that need to be updated, or does it look like we're excluding community
No,
members?
it should say anyone in the community. What
Okay,
page are you looking?
Page 1, under admission, it's the first sentence, it says enrolled in early childhood Little Stars through 6th grade at AES.
Okay. We'll get that corrected.
Thank you.
Okay. We have a motion, moved by Chrissy, seconded by Chris, to approve the Algoma Elementary Child Care Handbook for 2025-26 with the corrections suggested by Chrissy. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. I need a motion to approve the Pack of Pups Child Care Handbook for 2025-26.
So moved.
Moved by Lonnie, seconded by Shannon. Any discussion?
Tracy?
Yeah. She's a proofreader, so. All right. Hearing no discussion. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Okay, I need a motion to approve the donation of $24,959.75 from Precision Machine Incorporated for a new sound system in the field house.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Chrissy, seconded by Chris. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. I need a motion to approve the contract with Camera Corner Connecting Point in the amount of $24,959.75 for replacing the field house sound system. Moved by Lonnie,
Second.
seconded by Jeremy. Discussion?
So this donation from Precision is the equipment and the installation.
All right, I I have a motion by Lonnie, a second by Jeremy. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. All right, I need a motion to approve the Civil Rights Data Collection, CRDC report for 2023-2024.
So moved.
All right, I will move by Jeremy, second by Lonnie. Discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say no. Motion carries. All right, I need a motion to approve the contract with Heartland Business Systems in the amount of $46,691.56 for a new phone system.
So moved.
Moved by Mike,
Second.
seconded by Chrissy. Discussion?
Jesse, this is one that you were looking at last time, right?
Yeah.
This is,
Yep, this was
This
in our
is the best.
packets.
yeah,
I received 4 bids.
Yep.
Okay, excellent. Motion by Michael, second by Chrissy. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. I need a motion to approve the revised teacher pay scale effective July 1, 2025.
Second.
Moved by Lonnie, second by Chrissy. Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. I need a motion to approve a 2.95% pay adjustment for custodial, clerical, paraprofessionals, food service, bus drivers, childcare, and administrators effective July 1, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Chris, second by Chrissy. Discussion?
This just came to my head right now. Does that include your student workers in childcare and Wolf Den, or are they separate?
They are separate.
Okay, thank you.
All right, we have a motion and a second, a motion by Chris, a second by Chrissy to approve the 2.9 pay adjustment. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. All right, we need to move approval of granting the superintendent and finance manager the authority to assign Fund 10 balances per policy 6235.
So moved.
Moved by Jeremy, second by Lonnie. Discussion? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. We have a request for future agenda items. Let me or Jesse know, and we can get it on the agenda for next month. Otherwise, we need a motion to move into executive session.
So moved.
Moved by Chrissy.
Sorry, you need to read that all out.
I wondered about that. Okay. Okay, I need a motion to approve going into executive session under Wisconsin statute 19.851Z for the purposes of hires, staffing, contracts, resignations.
So moved.
Moved by
Second.
Chrissy, seconded by Chris. All's in favor?
This is a roll call vote.
Roll call vote, thank you. Jeremy?
Yes.
Yes.
Chrissy?
Yes.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
yes, Lonnie?
Yes.
All those indeed, motion carries.
Slender hammer.